For this one, I want to talk about the time I met an angel. And not like, oh, Lila, she's such an angel. Like an angel from above. So, I'm not here to convince anybody that angels exist in whatever form you may envision that, or any one religion has angels and one religion doesn't, or I'm not here promoting one religion over the other. I'm simply giving my experience of what happened in Dahab, Egypt. That's it. Take it for what you will. Don't believe it, whatever. So yeah, I just wanted to sort of clear that I'm not promoting, organized religion. I'm not, I consider myself spiritual, but I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. I don't think I have that ability anyways. So, this started on my third trip. I think it was third or fourth trip to the Middle East. And this was early in my travel career. This is 2014. So 11 years ago. So this was early in my travels. And I was doing 3 countries. I was doing Jordan, Israel, and Egypt. And I was starting in Amman, Jordan, and I was making my way by land to Cairo, then Giza to Cairo. So this was the second time I saw the pyramids as well. But the story I want to talk about happened in, like I said, Dahab, Egypt. So I did begin in Amman, Jordan, and I love Jordan. Jordan is an amazing country. I will promote Jordan. Well, I'm not here to promote a particular religion. I am here to promote Jordan. Jordan is fantastic. Petra, Wadi Rum. Petra, you need hours. You need 8 hours to properly digest Petra, or you're selling it short. The treasury is just a split second of everything that Petra has to offer. It's got like the beginning where you're going through Antelope Canyon, sort of, in Arizona, right, in the United States. And then the treasury appears. Anyways, this isn't a Petra podcast, is it? So I was in Petra, then I was in Wadi Rum, which that's the place, right? Wadi Rum is Mars. We've all come together as people, whether we know it or not, and we have decided that Wadi Rum is Mars. I say this because it's just about the landscape for every Mars movie we've ever made. Like way back to the Red Planet, right? What was that, like 2000? And then The Martian did it. And anything that takes place on Mars, you can bet it's being filmed at Wadi Rum. Lawrence of Arabia also. It's the pinnacle of Martian soil on planet Earth. So yeah, this is my first time to Wadi Rum. And then I went to Aqaba. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. Somebody could correct me in the comments if you're on YouTube. I believe it's Aqaba. It's a pretty chill, touristy place on the Red Sea. All those Red Sea areas are pretty chill, aren't they? That whole, area is just like, you may be in the conservative Middle East, but those Red Sea towns are always chiller than the rest of the country, aren't they? And then I was taking the border crossing at Al-Kaaba to Eilat. This is a city you don't hear a lot about. Eilat, Israel, is actually a lovely place. Eilat. They have this beachfront, and I believe it's the Mediterranean, and a lot of sandy beaches. That it's busy though. Eilat is busy. It's a busy place. At least it was when I was there. Maybe I was there on a particularly busy day, but I think the locals go there, and I think it's also a destination for folks in Israel if they want to get some beach time in. So I was in Eilat, and I did that land border crossing from Al-Khaba to Eilat, and so at the time I thought I was like in the most dangerous area in the world. Not really, but my definition of danger in 2014 and my definition of danger in 2025 could not be more different. Like I said, it was very early in my travels. This is before Afghanistan. It's before North Korea. It's before Burkina Faso. It's before Mogadishu. It's before Papua New Guinea. It's before everything, right? I went to North Korea in 2015. The first time I went to Afghanistan, it was also 2015, I believe. So I didn't know what danger meant. But so that land border crossing in Jordan to Israel was considered dangerous at the time in 2014 because somebody had been kidnapped, which is rare because Jordan's very secure. Jordan's done a very good job with stability, regardless of what's happening around them. During the ISIS period, they were pretty well protected. With the current conflict in Israel, Palestine, Iran, Jordan does a very good job of maintaining stability. And they're just sort of this beacon of stability in the area, aren't they? So it's just ridiculous to think that that's a dangerous border crossing. But even while I was in line to do it, some of the tourists were talking about how somebody had been kidnapped here or something. I don't even know if the story is true. But you got that no man's land, right? And the land borders always have that no man's land. That crazy piece of land that's like, it's only like 50 meters, but you're not in any country yet. Not all land borders. A lot of land borders have this. And you're just kind of walking in the desert. It was a very sandy strip. And you got in front of you the Israel flag. You got behind you the Jordan flag. And you don't know what country you're in yet. You're just kind of looking around. Yeah, so I was walking there thinking I'm in this, high danger conflict zone. I was not in any danger. So I did that. And then, so Israel, I was in Eilat, then I went up to Jerusalem, I came back down to Eilat, and then I made my way to Dahab, Egypt. So this is really where the story sort of begins. I took a long time getting here, didn't I? So, the Middle East can have markets, bazaars, and shop owners that are quite aggressive. I think folks in the Middle East like to consider themselves the most hospitable culture in the world. I think a lot of cultures convince themselves they're the most hospitable. And I'm not poking fun at anybody. I'm not picking on anybody here. But one thing I am is I'm honest about my experience. And I do not think that the market owners in the Middle East are hospitable. I don't find them hospitable. Are there very chill, relaxed store and market bazaar owners that are going to let you peruse their stuff and not, come up and try and bargain with you? Yeah, of course. Some get pretty aggressive in their techniques. I mean, this isn't just the Middle East. People can get aggressive in Laos when they're trying to sell certain things, and some of these poorer nations where folks don't have a lot, they need that income from tourists, and they can get aggressive in their sales technique. It's fine. It doesn't bother me. If I'm going to buy something, I'm going to buy it. I'm not going to be bought because some dude's hovering over me telling me I need it for this reason or that, right? But there was one particular gent that was very aggressive. And just some background on Dahab. So Dahab is a very cool place. It's a Red Sea town, and it's a big scuba town, big scuba city. They've got a massive scuba population there, and the reason is the blue holes there. One of the reasons is the blue holes there, where it's just this cylindrical area that goes down to like the ocean bottom, and there's just really interesting ocean life in there, marine life, I should say. And they've just got great scuba diving. It's a very, I don't know how else to say it. It's a scuba city. It's a scuba town. So I was there to scuba dive, and I was also there to enjoy Dahab. It's a fun city. It's a laid back, cool city. They've got a lot of these cool, cafes on the Red Sea. It's a nice little place to be. But on this one particular night, I think this was the second or third. This was the third night I was there because I was just about to leave. I was leaving the next day, and this gent who owned a market or a store in Dahab coaxed me in, and this is not. I had not a lot of travel under my belt, so I was pretty susceptible to folks and their tactics. So this gent coaxes me in, and he closes the door behind me, and he says, "Okay, pick something you want," which is more or less saying, "All right, you can leave, but after you've chosen something to buy." And again, this is early in my travels, so I was susceptible to these techniques. And just to avoid trouble, I'm a lover, not a hater. A lover, not a fighter. Is that the saying? So I picked something, whatever, the cheapest thing I could find. Anyways, so that was, one of those experiences where it's like, you can't help but fault Dahab a little bit. If you're recommending Dahab to somebody and that experience happens, you might mention it, right? You might say like, "Oh, Dahab's great, but beware of the merchants," or something like that. Whereas, now I don't think that would be something I would mention because I wouldn't have been in that situation. But anyways, so that was my experience with the shop owner, and then I went to another shop. That was more towards the coast. And this guy wanted to have tea with me. And you have to be careful in the Middle East with tea. Tea could mean you're going to pay for the tea, or you're going to pay for the time, or that particular person may want something from you. The tea's not free. The tea, it comes attached with some expectation that you buy a service or you buy an item. Is this every person in the Middle East? Of course not. Does it happen quite often? Yeah, it does. And people can put in the comments that, "Oh no, we never do that. We're the most hospitable country or culture in the world." Okay. It happened to me, so it's happened to me multiple times, so it does happen. I wouldn't say, I don't know if, the majority of the time or whatever. So I'm weary of the tea offer. But again, I'm still new to travel, and I'm open to meeting people. And so I sit down and he prepares the tea. And I just sat with this guy, and he had a thob. So, thobe. He had a thobe. I believe that's what it's called. Or sobe. It's the long Middle Eastern shirt that you see that actually goes all the way to your ankles. That a lot of the people in the Middle East, men in the Middle East wear because it's just so hot. And I actually have a thobe, and I love it. But anyways, so yeah, he was wearing a thobe, and he had a long gray beard, thinner guy, and he was up there in age, and just very welcoming and very, upfront that he didn't want anything. Like, cause he saw that I balked when he asked about, when he offered the tea, I kind of balked, and he's like, "Hey, I'm not going to charge you for a thing. Just want your company. That's it." And I said, "All right, great. Let's do this." And he was just an interesting fellow. And I can't remember how we got on this topic, but we got on the topic of religion. And it's one thing that I avoid when I travel. I avoid religion. I avoid politics. And I think those are two things that you should follow if you're any sort of traveler. I think that's good advice to avoid those two topics. And I can't remember how it came up, but it came up, and he launches into this story, and it's just a fascinating story. So he was a Muslim, and he made that clear, but he was telling this story about Jesus. So the person, Jesus Christ. So he had lost the use of his legs, and I can't remember if it was an accident. I think he was in a car accident, and he lost the use of his legs. He was paralyzed from the waist down, which I made note that he's not currently paralyzed, but so he was paralyzed from the waist down, and he was laying in his bed, and somehow his house caught on fire. And here he is laying in bed, and there's smoke, filling his room. And he's sort of saying, "This is it," because he can't get out. Even if he could, use his arms, he probably was in no position to find a way out of there without the use of his legs. And he said, at this time, the vision of Jesus Christ, the person, was above him, staring down at him, like floating above him as he was laying in his bed. And it's important to mention that Jesus Christ is an important person to Islam and Muslims. He's one of the prophets, right? But he's not Muhammad level, You would think for a devoted Muslim, he may be talking about Muhammad, but of course, in Islam, you don't have pictures of Muhammad anywhere because they don't believe in, Muslims don't believe in worshipping the image of Muhammad. But, well, anyways, that's a sidebar. So he's telling me this story about Jesus and how Jesus threw down flakes of tinfoil, he said. He said they look just like tinfoil, these little flakes of tinfoil. And as he's looking up at Jesus Christ, he can walk. When the tinfoil falls on his body, he is miraculously able to walk. And his legs work again. And he runs out of the building. And it was just such an interesting story for me. Like the little bits of tinfoil, sitting there in this bed, facing death by fire. You have this Muslim who's talking about seeing an image of Jesus Christ saving him. Just the whole thing was interesting. So we ended up talking for a long time. And then I decided it's time to go home. So I thank him and just say it was great to talk to him. And I go about 50 meters and I come back. I decide to loop back. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy something in his shop. Because he was sitting outside of a shop, which I assumed was his. And it was like all the other shops. It had, some Middle Eastern trinkets. I can't really remember specifically what was in there. Jewelry and other types of stuff. Artifacts, vases, and, just things you see in the bazaars. And he was gone. He was not sitting out front. We were in like outdoor patio furniture. Like there was the square like side table and then two kind of lounge chairs out there. And that's what we were sitting in. And those were vacant and the store was closed. I said, okay. He went home. He closed up quick. Like, cause I only had made it, like I said, 50 meters before I turn around and he's gone. This guy was just like, whoop, vanished. So it's okay. I made a note of where it was. And I said, I'll go in the morning. Tomorrow morning I'll go and I'll buy something. Like, he was so entertaining and like I appreciated the conversation so much that I'd like to support his business. So wake up and I go the next day. And I found the store and I walk in and there's a younger gent in there. And I said, hey, is the older guy that was here last night, is he here or will he be in later? And the guy kind of looks at me and he's like, well, this is my shop and there's we don't have any. Yeah, I open and close. Okay. Well, last night you had an older gentleman here, maybe, 60s, 70s. He's like, no, I closed up shop last night. I think I'm being like punked at this point. Like, I'm just being like messed with. I don't know. I didn't know what I was just very confused. So I said, oh, okay. Maybe I have the wrong place. And I said, hey, sorry about that. Thanks for your time. And as I'm walking out, I see a picture. And the picture is of two guys. One of them was the guy I was looking at, the guy that was currently owning the shop. The second guy in the picture was the guy I saw the night before. It was the old guy with the beard and the white thop. It was no doubt him. There was no doubt that it was him. It was exactly who I saw the night before. So I said, oh, okay, great. Now I can just point to the picture and say, hey, he was here last night. Maybe he doesn't have much to do with the store, but he was here. So I went back to the shop owner and I said, yeah, it's that gent. And something like that. I don't know if I said gent. And the guy looks at me, he's like, oh, that's my father. He passed away a couple months ago. And now, the cat's got my tongue. Now I'm searching for words because I've never had that experience before. I've never had that experience since, where I've seen somebody in a picture that I'm being told has passed away, but that I have seen in the flesh. And in a time frame that doesn't make any sense. Because I saw the guy in the picture the night before, and his, I'm assuming son, told me his dad, he said his dad, so yeah. His father passed away months ago, right? So I don't even think I said anything I think I just left the shop. But it was incredible. Like, it was incredible. I've never had that happen since then. And there's no reason for that guy in the shop to lie to me. There's no motivation. None whatsoever. There's no logical reason why he would just say, lies about something like that. So, that is the time I met an angel in Dahab, Egypt.